Alright, so I've done a lot of these videos already, but anyways, I'm going to be replacing the screen on this 13-inch MacBook Pro. This is a mid-2017 model A1708. Alright, so first thing we're going to use is a P5 or Pentalobe 1.2 screwdriver to remove all the screws from the bottom. Again, I've done a lot of these repairs on this model, so if you want to see a more thorough tutorial, you can watch that video. This one I'm kind of going to be doing a bit quicker, but anyways, we're going to be removing all the screws, keep them all in order because they are different size, shape, and lengths. I put them flat side down like that on my desk in the pattern I remove them, so that I can get the same screw back where I got it from. Anyways, if this video helps you out, make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. If it helps you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. If you for some reason mixed up the screws, these are the shortest, these are a little bit longer, and then these are the longest ones back here. Okay, anyways, let's go ahead and pop this thing open. I'm going to use a suction cup. You can use tape, you can use whatever to get this bottom cover up. Basically, we're going to lift the cover slightly up. Sometimes you don't even need a tool to do this, but if you lift it slightly, it makes it easier to get a tool in there. You can use a plastic pry tool. I just use my fingernails. Then I work my way down the side here, just like this. I push down on the edge and pull up on the cover and it comes out like that. We're going to go across and do the same thing. The middle clips usually will pop themselves up if you do the two sides already. And then we're just going to take this bottom cover off. Again, this one I'm going pretty quick. Normally I would do this a lot slower and kind of explain a bit more, but here you can see we got the bottom cover off. I am going to clean this up because it is dusty inside, so let me do that and I'll be back. Okay, see you guys in a bit. Alright, I'm back. Anyways, there's this dent here. I'm going to see if I can bend that. If I can bend that back. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it like this. It's bulging inwards. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a popsicle stick here. That way when I hit it, it's not going to mark it. And I'm just going to try and hammer this more flat. Okay, and that kind of flattened it a bit. Okay, and it's not perfect, but it's a lot better than before. Okay, I'll try a little bit more to try and bend it out a tad bit more. Maybe I'll try with the edge here. Okay, and it's a lot better. I don't know if there's a way I can kind of push it completely outwards because I would need something like underneath to kind of help raise the edges. But that's probably about as good as we're going to get it for now, so we'll leave it like that. Okay, let's go ahead and get back into repairing the screen. So this piece, yeah, I don't know how they dented it like that, but anyways, it's a lot better now. We'll set that aside. Let's go ahead and start removing what we need to do to remove the screen. So I'm going to zoom in here. We're going to disconnect the battery. Did I turn off the charging? Yes, I did. Okay, we're going to peel this thing up. Okay, you want to be careful with this. Go slow. This also has a plastic layer underneath that it's actually peeling up with the battery connector. If you can hold it down, that would actually work better. So I'm holding this down with my thumb, and then that way this plastic piece stayed down. Otherwise it would peel it up. There's sometimes I just leave it there and then it's fine. You just want to be careful because we do have to disconnect this cable here. Okay, so we get underneath this plastic flap. Okay, just like that. Then we can peel this plastic flap back, flip this latch up. Once you flip that latch up, you can grab the cable and pull it out. Okay, make sure that that latch is up before you yank on it because you don't want to damage it. We're going to switch over to a T5 or Torx 5 screwdriver, and we're going to remove this screw. Okay, again, this one isn't so much a tutorial because well, I mean, if you follow along, you can do it right. But anyways, we disconnected the battery there. Now we're gonna press and hold the power button 15 seconds to drain any residual power. This makes it a lot safer to work on. And if you don't do this, there's a good chance you're gonna fry your motherboard or the backlight circuit. So take the 15 seconds, do this, hold the power button down after disconnecting the battery. You won't regret it. All right. There we go. Next thing we're gonna do, because we already have the T5 screwdriver, so I'm just gonna go ahead and remove the other T5 screws that are here, okay? If you wanna do it to where it's a little bit less, slightly less risky, you can remove all the T3 Torx 3 screws first, but I'm just gonna do this so I don't have to keep switching between bits as much, okay? There's 5 screws we're gonna be removing. 4 holding this board in place and 2 holding the wireless antennas in place. All right, there we go. We got those 5 out. Now going to switch over to the T3 or Torx 3. If you're wondering, we're also going to need a P2 or Pentalobe 0.8 screwdriver later. Let's remove these 2 screws holding this plastic thing in place. Okay, just like that. Again, I'm just kind of doing this quick, so I'm going to work my way across. I'm actually going to check if this metal bar is on the replacement screen. Sometimes the replacement screen comes with that and sometimes it doesn't. So let me go ahead and open up the screen. Okay. Let's see what we got. Oh, they packaged this pretty well with some little plastic triangle thingies and some rubber bands. I know it's not on screen, but yeah. All right, we got this package all wrapped up with rubber bands. I'm gonna take these out. Okay, get out the cardboard and foam. They package this really well with cardboard and foam on all sides. Right, they put it in this blue baggie. Then they tape this on. Okay, it looks like they didn't put the metal things on this one, so I am going to have to transfer them over. Anyways, let's get this package open. Okay, I'm just gonna peel this out. Get out of the baggie. They got all this foam stuff and instructions there. All right, but here you can see they didn't transfer over the metal brackets. So we are going to have to transfer that over. So I'm going to peel this tape off. You want to hold the board down when you peel this up. Okay, I'm going to just remove this foam, stick that there. All right, we're going to set the screen aside for now, and then we'll get it when we need it. So we'll set that aside. Okay, because they didn't remove the metal things here, we're going to have to take these out and transfer them over later. So let's go ahead and remove those. Okay, we'll see in real time how long it takes for me to do this. Oops, I'm messing up. I'm dropping stuff. Okay, there we go. Then we're going to remove the 2 screws down here. Okay, I guess you'll see how long mine is the cleanup process, like cleaning the dust out. Cleaning the dust doesn't really take too much time. Right, we're going to work our way over here so we can disconnect the LCD LVDS connector. It looks like they actually use a T4 there. Really annoying. Okay, right. Actually, is that just a T3 and I just wasn't pushing hard enough? Interesting. Uh-oh, is this screw stuck in there? Okay, there we go. Oh, why is that screw so difficult to remove? Okay, there we go. Then we'll take this metal bracket off. We'll take this piece out as well. Might actually not have to remove this one, but I remove it because I don't want to risk damaging the cable, because you do have to kind of fold it up slightly. Okay, we'll take that metal bracket out. I'm going to hold this board down. We're going to pop this connector off just like that and move that out of the way. Right, again, we're going to take this metal bracket out. Okay, pretty sure I can do this in under half an hour. Take that metal bracket out, Set that aside. Take these two screws out. Okay. Gonna now remove or disconnect the wireless antennas. I just pull up from the tails, okay? So go up from the tail and just pull it straight up, just like this. All right, I'm gonna switch over to the P2, or oops, I actually need to take out the plastic bracket on this side, almost forgot. Okay, there we go, take that out. All right, now we're gonna remove the P2 or pentalobe 0.8 screws. Okay, holding the wireless antennas in place. T5, okay, I gotta keep those in order. There we go. All right, and we gotta keep all these screws in order as well. Jeez, okay. There we go. All right, and then we'll do the other side, same thing. Okay, and last one. All right, now we got all those screws out. What we're gonna do, we're gonna remove the wireless antennas. I'm gonna zoom out, and to do this, what you do is you get in this vent area, and then you kind of just pull it up. There you go. Actually, this one came out pretty easily. A lot of times this clip here holds really strong, so that's kind of interesting. This one came out really easily. Then I rotate this to get the wireless antennas through that hole. And there we go. We'll set the wireless antennas aside. To remove the screen, we're going to zoom out here. Okay. We're going to open the screen all the way. Okay. So basically open it completely, hang it off the edge of the desk. I'm going to zoom out a bit more. And then we're going to remove the T8 or Torx 8 screws from here. Okay. There's 3 on each side. All right, and we're going to set them aside. Again, keep them all in order. Okay, these screws can be a little bit tight. Okay, make sure that your screwdriver isn't slipping. I've had someone tell me that they had to use a T9 because their T8 screwdriver was a little bit loose. So it's actually a good idea to check if your screwdriver is a good fit. You don't want to just use based on the numbers I give, because some sets aren't very accurate and they won't be the right size. All right, now we're going to let the screen drop to 90 degrees. Okay, and then you can lift the screen out just like that. So there's the broken screen. We're going to set that aside. We're going to get the new screen. If the hinges aren't already open all the way, make sure to twist them open in the all the way open position. If you can't do it by hand, you can take your screwdriver, stick it through one of the screw holes, and then use that to help open it. All right, but don't pull it too hard. You don't want to crack or damage the hinges. All right, next thing we're going to do, we're going to hold this cabling up out of the way. Then we're just going to drop this into place. Okay. Make sure the cabling also goes into place here. All right. All right. Make sure the hinges drop in. For some reason, this hinge, okay, there we go. Now that that's in place, we're going to hold that up. Okay. And what I like to do is first, I'll just put one screw here. Okay. And we'll just get that in. You don't want to overly tighten it, because we're going to have to adjust the screen first. Okay. All right, now that we got those 2 screws in, what you're going to do, we're going to put the screen side down like this. Take this off if you left that there. You don't want to close the screen with that on there and damage it. Very slowly close that. All right. Then now we can line this up. What you want to do, you want to make sure that the back edge here is flush. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to loosen these screws a little, so that way they can move around. And if you can, try and adjust this gap to be centered. Sometimes the hinges are out of center and you're not going to be able to get it lined up like that, even if you want to. But do your best to try and get it as centered as possible, and try and get this as flush as possible, so that when you run your finger across here, it should be pretty smooth. Okay. All right. And all right, I think that's good. Okay. And then once you get that all in place, go ahead and tighten those screws down. Okay. Good. Tighten that screw down. Good. All right, now we'll get all the rest of them in. Down, twist it in place. Make sure it's nice and tight. All right. I like to twist it backwards to make sure the screw goes in place. It should be easy to twist it the first several turns. Okay. We got two more here. Get that, tighten that down. All right. Get this and tighten that down. Okay. There we go. We're now done with the T8 or Torx 8 screwdriver. We're going to rotate this back and flip it back over. Okay, I'm actually first going to use the T3 or Torx 3 screwdriver. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to get these little spring-loaded ones in first. Okay, so what you do, hold this out of the way, right? We're going to rotate this, make sure you pull it so it goes as far as possible, and then hold that in place. Get the screw, get that in. Okay. Go. Make sure it goes in straight. Felt like a little bit crooked. Okay, and then tighten that down. Good. All right, get the second one, same thing. Okay, come on, go in. All right. And if you're wondering, you can actually see the spring through this side. There's a little gap there that you can actually see. Actually, do they have it on this model? Maybe you can't. Actually, you can't on this model. Anyways, we'll get this other spring one in. Remember, rotate it over. Make sure to pull it so you have enough slack. Okay, hold that in place. Get the other screw. And we'll get this in. Okay. Get that into place. Good. Get the second one. Same thing. We'll get this lined up. And we'll tighten that into place. Perfect. Okay. Now what we're going to do, we're going to make sure this cable is on top. Okay. And we're actually going to put the wireless antenna first before we put this down. All right, so again, like before, we're going to go in at an angle like this. Okay, so the antennas need to go underneath this bar. And if you can't get it right, what you can do is you can kind of straighten these wires out a little bit. All right, we can curl them around later. So get that under there through the hole like this. Make sure this metal piece goes on top. Line up these screw mounts on both sides here and here. Okay, once you get that, push the middle down. It should somewhat click into place, and if you lift this, this middle piece should stay still. That's how you know you have it in. All right, and then what you can do, well, let's go ahead and start getting the rest of the stuff in. Since we already have the T3 or Torx 3 screwdriver out, we might as well get these in first. Actually, no, I'm gonna put the T5 in, T5s in first. Okay, so we're gonna switch back over to the T5 or Torx 5. Okay, and then we're gonna get these 5 screws in. So in this order, it makes it a little bit easier to make sure everything is aligned properly. We're gonna loosely fit this screw first, okay? So that one, we're gonna get all 4 of these in loosely to make sure everything is lined up right, okay? So I'm not tightening them down yet. I'm just loosely getting them into place. Okay, same thing. All right, this one in. Okay, and then the last one for the wireless antennas, we'll get that in as well. Sorry, I was going out of view of the camera. Okay, get that in place. Hold on, I might be getting messages. Oh yeah, give me a second, I'll be back. All right, I'm back. Let's go ahead and continue doing this. So here you can see these things kind of pop up here. All right, also you want to make sure these things are pressed down all the way. Okay, I don't think I tightened these in yet, so let's go ahead and tighten all these T5 or Torx 5 screws. Yep, all right, make sure that they're all the way down. You don't want to over tighten it, just twist until it becomes somewhat difficult to twist. All right, so we got all of that in. Next thing we're gonna do, switch back over to the T3, Torx 3, and let's start getting all of these in. So to get these in, it helps to kind of hold the little cover thingies, and then you get one screw in there, and you can use this as a guide to help get the screw into place. Okay, get the screw in there, line it up, get one screw, and I loosely fit it first so we can adjust it. All right, we'll get the second screw here, then we'll get that in there, get it lined up, and screw that down. There we go, just like that. And we're going to do that with all the sides. Can also push this cable in. You usually have to push it down slightly this direction to get it lined up. Then you can go ahead and press that into place. We'll get these screws in as well. Okay, same thing. Hold the thing into place. Get that screw in. All right, get this all lined up. Get that tightened down a little. Get a second one. Okay. Oops. And we'll get this screw into place. Get that lined up. Alright, tighten that down. Alright, same thing with this little bracket. Get the screw. Line it up. This one can be a little difficult because these screws are longer. Okay. Second screw. Line this thing up. And this can be somewhat of a pain because this one you gotta line it up and get the screw in at the same time. There we go. Hold that down, tighten that into place. Perfect. There we go. Get the other screw. Get the metal plate. Same thing. Get that lined up. Get that screw in. Alright, second screw, same thing, use this to line it up, and tighten that down. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, we're almost done. Let's get in these plastic brackets here. Make sure that the plastic goes underneath the frame of the laptop. You don't want it sticking out on top. Okay. And we'll loosely fit that screw, get the second one, and we'll get this one in and tighten that down. And tighten that down. I'm gonna go over here and we'll get this one into place. All right, get that loosely fit. Second one. And we'll get this one in, and we'll tighten that down. Good. Tighten this down. Good. All right, we're done with the T3 Torx 3 screwdriver. And now switch over to the P2 or Pentalobe 0.8 screwdriver. What we're gonna do is we'll get one screw on the outer edge. Hold this together. All right. Get that one screw in. Then we'll get the one on the other opposite side. Okay, hold this in together. Get that in. There we go. Now the antenna will hold itself in place. You can go ahead and get the rest of the screws in. Just like that. 3 more, and then we'll do the other side. These screws are tiny, so you want to be careful. Also, you want to get a good screwdriver bit set. If you need help finding one, just let me know. Okay, I'm not sponsored by any of the companies or anything like that, but I do get like a little bit from Amazon affiliate links. It's not really much, but it's like a few cents. Okay. All right, so we'll get this screw in. All right, we're gonna do the same thing on this side. Also, you can put in the wireless antenna now if you'd like. Just line this up. Okay, can be a little tricky. You wanna make sure it's completely aligned. You know, because if you try and move it around, it will stay in place. Then you can just click it down. All right, same thing with this one. Get that lined up. You can see if you move it around, it stays in place, and then click it down. Perfect. All right. So let's go ahead and get these wireless antenna screws in. Same thing, we're going to do one on this outside piece, holding it in place, and then the other one. Okay, again, you want to hold this in place. Tighten that. Good. Now everything's in. We can go ahead and get the rest of the screws in. Okay. This one and 2 more. Okay. And the last one. Perfect. All right, there we go. Let's go ahead and get the battery reconnected. We're done now with the P2 or pentalobe 0.8. All right, we'll get this T5 Torx 5 screw and get it back in there. All right, good. Now that we got that in place, we're gonna get this cable in. So pull this tab back. I'm gonna hold this like this so you can kind of see a little bit better. Then we're gonna just get this cable in. Can be a little tricky. Get it lined up, pull it into place. Once you get it pulled in all the way, make sure to hold this out and then slide your finger over the latch to latch it back down, and you can tape that back into place. Okay, we're gonna now put this piece back on top. All right, it lines up with this little bar edge there. Okay, just like that, stick it down. Okay, then what we're gonna do, we're gonna flip this thing over. Well, let's go ahead and put the cover on. Usually I would test this first, but this is the only screen we got. Everything's connected properly. So normally what I would do is I would just snap this on top and test it first, but I'm just gonna put it back in the right way for because I'm pretty sure it's gonna work. Basically what you do is you line up the edge, either the left or right, doesn't really matter which side first, and then you hold this down, slide that up, and then same thing with this one. It's going to be crooked out here, then slide it up. Okay, and the reason you do that is because there are hooks on this that hook into where the air vents are, and that's how it kind of holds itself in place. Then we're just going to double check, slide it up one more time. Okay, everything looks good. Clip it all in. We're going to flip it over. We're going to plug it in and test it. It won't turn on until you plug it in most cases. So right now, actually this one's turning itself on even though I didn't plug it in. Normally on a lot of these models you actually have to plug it in before you can turn it on, but this one I can actually hear the trackpad clicking, so we should be okay. I'm gonna do a PRAM and SMC reset. So the Apple logo, as you can see, just came on. What I'm gonna do, we're gonna plug it in. We're gonna do Control Option Shift on the left side, power button. The screen turns off completely. Then to do, so that's the SMC reset. Now to do a PRAM reset, power it on, Command Option P and R, hold those buttons down. You should see the screen come on and then shut back off. And that's how you know you did the PRAM reset properly. If you don't see the screen coming on and shutting off, you can just keep holding the buttons. If you want, while you're holding the buttons, you can press on the trackpad so you know if you feel it clicking, you know it's working. You'll hear the chime if you did it right, okay? And then we should be okay. All right, so there we go. You can see the screen is on. We can go ahead and peel this stuff off, but we're gonna go ahead and put the pentalobe 1.2 or P5 screws back in first. And that's pretty much it. So again, hopefully this video helped you guys out. If it did, make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. If it helps you save a bunch of money, again, please consider contributing a little to the channel. All the links on how you, or things on how you can do that are in the description of the video below. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We'll get all these screws back in and we're good to go. All right. Anyways, other than that, as you can see, it took about half an hour. All right. If I was like going as quick as possible, definitely could get this done in less than half an hour, especially with no explanations if I just quickly like did it. But yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. All right, let's drop this. Bye.